I print greeting cards on my Canon printer, and I'm always amazed at how good a job it does. And to cut these are basically, it's a half of a sheet. Set up a template in Photoshop, put in the lettering, put in the images, create the borders and things, and cutting these down. This is just a thin piece of plastic. It's probably a 1/16 inch thick. And you can tell I've cut a lot of greeting cards on it. And I'll line that up pretty much right here, because what I do is, this is a piece of plexiglass. This edge is perfectly straight, and this edge, it doesn't really matter, but I'm pretty sure it's parallel to this edge. Then what I did, hopefully you can see it in that white part here, is on the, I'm going to flip this over, on this back side, what I did is I measured in a 1/4 inch towards the end and a 1/4 inch on the other end. Then I took a straight edge and I used an X-Acto knife and I flipped it backwards so the cutting edge was up, and then scribed a line all the way down the whole length of this piece of plexiglass. Then I also measured over a half an inch from this edge, half an inch there, half an inch there. Took a straight edge and scribed. This line is a lot fainter than that one. Scribed a line here. Then what I did on this one, the 1/4 inch, is I took a black marker and got that ink, whatever that is, black stuff, down in there so I could see it better on white paper. And this one I didn't do it to, but I can still see that one pretty decent. So what I do then is I'm putting that scribe side down, and what I want to do is I want to make a 1/4 inch cut from the edge of the image to there. That's a 1/4 inch, because this gap is a half an inch. And when I made this, I tried to figure out, like, how would I cut these? Because if I used a regular ruler, this isn't a ruler, but let's pretend it is, how do I see where I'm at there? And came up with this idea of making a transparent, basically straight edge guide, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll cut it. And made this years ago, and it works really well. So I'm lining up the scribe line along the top of the image. Then I know it's a 1/4 inch there. Then I have a 1/4 inch left to this other image. So this is actually 2 greeting cards. I'm actually going to move that over just a skosh, because it looks like it's actually a little bit more than half an inch, but it's, immaterial. But so what I've found too, I used an X-Acto knife for years and they would get dull fairly fast, but I found just a regular razor blade, preferably new and really sharp, works the best. So what I'm doing is I'm going to line it up with this plastic. I'm going to keep my fingers away, and I'm going to push over that way against that guide. And I'm not pushing down super hard, just kind of moderately. And this razor blade's getting a little bit old. Took 2 cuts. With a new one, generally it'll take just 1 cut, depending on the type of paper you have, different variables. And I usually just cut one at a time. If I cut more than that, things can move, and then things are crooked, and it gets to be potentially a mess. So I don't want to do this, because this paper is pretty expensive. This is glossy, and this is actually Home Depot. No, not Home Depot, not the hardware store. It's Office Depot, Office Max, they combined. It's their brand of paper. And I like this because there's no writing on the back. A lot of them, like Canon, no, I don't think Canon did it, because I used to buy Canon paper. That was even more expensive than this is. But there was other ones that I saw that had writing at an angle on the back. I'm like, I don't want that, because what I do is I fold these over like this for the greeting card, and I want this side, this is where you'd write. And so that Office Max, Office Depot paper works great on my Canon printer. And I'd heard years ago where they said that only use the paper that your printer is manufactured. So I have a Canon printer, and so I'd buy Canon paper, but it's crazy expensive. It was basically photo paper, and there was one, it didn't have any writing on the back either. I think that's changed now, though. Well, something to look at if you're going to print greeting cards, but been doing it for a long time, works really well. But that pretty much, trying to think if there's anything else, but I've made thousands of these, and I give them away as gifts. I send them to people. I've sold quite a few of them also in stores. I don't think I've sold anything online, but be sure and check out my other videos. Please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Have a great day.